Nintendo Parental Controls. Yeah, I know, weird subject. Today, I'm going to be taking a look at every Nintendo Parental Control system ever, because why not? It surprisingly changed a lot between the Wii and DSi, yeah, those consoles have parental controls, to the 3DS, Wii U, Switch, and Switch 2. Before we get started, please consider subscribing, as it supports the channel. We just hit 160 subscribers, and now we're aiming for 170 subscribers. Alright, let's get started. First, the Wii. The Wii was quite interesting as the parental controls didn't have many settings, like at all. It was just yeeted into Wii settings and has like 2 things you can customize. First, game settings and pin. Yeah, they just mush game settings into the same page as the pin customization. Why? Who knows? You can customize your pin and secret question, but you can also customize the highest game rating allowed in your system. You can choose between any, mature, wait, isn't any literally the same as mature? Teen, everyone 10 plus, everyone, and early childhood. I can imagine some kid messing with the settings, putting it on early childhood, forgetting the pin, and now he can't even play Mario Kart Wii alone. Finally, the second option, other settings. This lets you restrict things like online features. You can block the use of Wii points in certain credit card purchases, which are used for buying games in the Wii Shop channel. You can also restrict accessing certain user-generated content, or even the online use of the Wii message board. You can block the use of the internet channel and viewing of unrated content. You can also restrict the news channel, which is kind of funny. That's it. That's the entire Wii parental controls. Not that much. Next, the DSi. Somehow, this console had parental controls, and somehow they were more advanced than the Wii. Mostly because the DSi had a lot of local features. But they also kind of suck. First, you can do the same thing as the Wii and restrict the age rating of games. However, it only works for DSi games, not DS games, only DSi games. You can just block PictoChat. I guess people are being toxic on PictoChat, so they had to add freaking parental controls options for PictoChat. You can also limit DS download play, which is stupid. Why restrict DS download play? Who just opens DS download play and finds some random person has a room open for a mature game at the exact same time while you're waiting for someone and joins? Why does this exist? You can just block the DSi browser, but again, there's another stupid option. You can just block the use of Nintendo DSi points. But nope, no. You're not blocking the purchase of points. You're just making it impossible to use them. Why? You're just blocking buying games with points you already have, but you're not blocking the use of buying points? What? This makes absolutely no sense. This is the second time the DSi has had a dumb parental... Why am I yelling about Nintendo parental controls? Anyway, you can also block the exchange of photo data locally, and also restrict access to user-generated content, so probably in stuff like Flipnote Studio, where you can share informations. Okay, that was a mess. Next, the 3DS. The 3DS is a lot more advanced in terms of parental controls compared to the absolute nightmare of the DSi. Just like the Wii and DSi, you can restrict software based on age ratings, blah blah blah. This is the third time I've said this. You can block the use of the internet browser and also block 3D images, which will stop the 3D slider from doing anything. Nintendo says use to block the 3D effect for children under 6, so I guess it makes sense. The 3D effect does kind of hurt your eyes after all. You can block Miiverse, restrict local transmission of images, audio, video, and long text data. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. You can restrict online interaction, so it stops the exchange of data between users who aren't friends and the ability to play online. Which makes sense, but also how can it be toxic in Mario Kart 7? I guess it would be useful in other games. You can block Street Pass, which is kind of strange, but I kind of get it. Also, on the Nintendo support website, it says this restriction does not work with Nintendo DS or DSi software. Nintendo DS and DSi software don't have Street Pass. The person who read it just probably put it there accidentally because I already said this doesn't apply to DS 2 times in the support article. You can stop the registration of friends, restrict the use of DS download play, which is still weird by the way. Block Nintendo video content with an age rating of 13 and over. Yeah, remember Nintendo Video? It also restricts YouTube content. And finally, child online privacy protection. Obtains parental consent for the online collection, use, or disclosure of personal data from children under the age of 13. Basically, it asks for parents' permission when Nintendo collects data. At least they asked. Next, the Wii U. They are deep. You can do the age rating thing, block online play, restrict the entire internet browser, restrict buying games or using credit cards in the Nintendo eShop. There's a lot of stuff you can restrict. You can block kids from adding friends in the Wii U friend list, which is already restricted by default if you're under 13, though. Check out my friend list video for more info on that. Restrict Miiverse back when they existed. You can even block video apps and non-game software. You can also make the system require a PIN before deleting software or save files. That's useful. When I was little and I got my first 3DS, I wiped it 5 minutes after it was set up. You can stop changes to Wi-Fi settings without the PIN, and of course you can restrict the Wii mode features, which is basically the same as the Wii. Also, factory resets and adding users are blocked by default if you have parental controls on. Finally, Nintendo knows how to do parental controls! Okay, now time for the Nintendo Switch and Switch 2, and oh my god, this article is wrong. While you can customize the controls on the console as well, you can also download the Nintendo Switch Parental Controls app. Yeah, they literally made a freaking app, which has the most options. You can set daily limits for how long the system can be played. You can view what games have been played and for how long. You can set a bedtime and morning start time. You can also restrict game chat on Switch too, so managing which friends they can chat with and adjusting with video chat settings and seeing who they chatted with. My god, they added so much to the Switch! You can restrict age ratings, in-game communication, sharing screenshots to social media, eShop purchases, VR mode, friend suggestions. What don't they have? If you're curious about every little detail they added, the link is in the description of the video. Alright, that's going to be all for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe for more awesome Nintendo content. Sorry it's been a while since the last upload. You can join the Discord server for more frequent updates. It's linked in the description. Goodbye.